is great to talk to you again. Congrats on 2 back-to-back title defenses against Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. Man, those were wars.
Yeah, they were battles, and they were heated battles for a reason because it got a little personal the week before. For those who weren't aware, Max's our music video had a line in there that kind of stirred a bit of the pot on the Jeff Jarrett camp, and things got a bit crazy. So there was a lot of real emotion in there in the ring, and I'm glad we were able to pull out two wins, two strong.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 2 convincing wins. I assume they claimed it's done with Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal now.
I hope we're done. I'm tired of beating their ass every single night.
And so what was it like for you being in the middle of that crazy stuff with Jeff Jarrett, Karen Angle, and Max?
I mean, I think a lot of what makes wrestling very exciting is storylines. When you're able to step outside of a storyline and have, like I said before, this raw emotions of just chaos going on, that really draws so much interest from everybody involved, including us. And Ant me up. I couldn't wait to get out there and beat the crap out of them. You know, I don't know if you've heard his podcast, the My World podcast. He said some pretty crappy things about Caster's family on there, and you know, where we train, et cetera. So, you know, a lot of it was just out for vengeance, and also, you know, we're the tag team champions, so we got to make sure that we're defending and keeping our titles. We are the forever champs. We got to live up to our word. So there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things going on. But again, we had 2 very strong wins to start off 2023, which you know, Max and Billy and I are very, very happy with.
Totally. So, so we're here to talk about AEW Dynamite in Los Angeles on Wednesday at the fabulous Kia Forum, as Excalibur says. Now, you live in LA along with some others like Jack Perry. What's it like performing in front of the LA crowd? What makes them different?
Oh, they were crazy last year at the Forum. I didn't really get to experience being in the ring. I was hurt then. I was in the wheelchair. That was when, you know, we were first starting to bond with the Gun Club and Daddy Ass, and they were, from what I remember, at least from our entrance, when I was screaming at the top of my lungs, they were loud, they were passionate, and they were just very excited to have AEW wrestling there for the first time. And now we return again for the second time, and then we have a loaded show, and we'll be a part of the festivities in a way which I can't reveal yet. We have something very fun planned. I'm just really excited to get out there. Every week has just been so much fun to go to work, and especially when we get into these big arenas like the Kia Forum, and the energy there is electric, and the people are very excited. Everywhere you look, there's scissors, there's foam figures, there's all these creative signs that we appreciate so much. The fact that people you know, are taking the time to the night before, whenever, taking hours to craft these custom scissors that they make, and it's absolutely incredible. It's really cool to see, and I can't wait to get out there.
And I feel like you guys also have really moved up to the next level in terms of the creativity you guys are allowed with, the rap videos and all these other things. What's that been like to kind of really just take the Acclaimed and the scissoring and just doing it as creative as you can be?
Well, our creativity has been there from the get-go. They allowed us to create, and they allowed us to you know, try a bunch of things. You might have, you just haven't seen it because now we are presented a lot more frequently on AEW television. So people are seeing the cool things that we're doing. But we've been doing a lot of these things since the very, very beginning, starting with the Young Bucks, from music videos to skits. So we do have a lot more stuff, a lot more fun stuff up our sleeve that we haven't even scratched the surface yet. So it's really fun to be at a job where we can create, and then all these millions of people can enjoy it.
Absolutely. So the last time we spoke was right before All Out back in September, and the Acclaimed hadn't become tag team champions yet. So a lot has happened, obviously, in the last 4 or 5 months. Can you take me back to those 2 matches with Swerve in Our Glory in Chicago and Grand Slam in New York? Just the journey to the titles.
Well, it was wild. It was a very, very wild time. Then going into All Out, we knew Max and I knew we had a big opportunity to go out there and really show what we can do, especially on our biggest pay-per-view of the year at All Out in Chicago. And a lot of people were like, well, why is this match even on the card? Blah, 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 complaining about things. And we knew once we got out there, we were going to do something special. Did we know it would get as crazy as it did? No, I can honestly no. You know, we got out there and they started, you know, singing "Oh Scissor Me Daddy" for the first time, and I think there's even a point in the match where, you know, I'm trying to wrestle Swerve down to the mat, And the both of us momentarily our differences dissipated and we looked up and went, what the hell is happening? And then I went, oh, I got to beat this guy up again. So we went back at it, and the crowd was absolutely insane. And I think that Chicago crowd and our performance really put us over the top in terms of, perception with the fans that we are fantastic professional wrestlers. I think we had built up this whole thing of, they claimed they're just really fun and entertainers or whatever you want to call it. But we are very, very, very good elite professional wrestlers, and we were able to prove that. And then we followed up, and 2 weeks later, New York City at Grand Slam, winning the AEW Tag Team titles. Which was a moment I'll never forget because, I got to have my friends and my family there. I got to, win for the state over from my home state in New Jersey. As I'm getting my hand raised, I look up and I see my dad cheering on in the crowd. All very, very special moments that I'll never forget. So, it changed our lives drastically because now, we were always saying we were the best tag team in the world. We believed it, and you can see it every single week. We are the best tag team alive.
Absolutely. Yeah. And did you feel pressure after the way your match stole the show at All Out to try to live up to it at Grand Slam? And, how did you approach that match?
No, we don't try and put any extra pressure on ourselves. We go out there every single week. We want to entertain you. We want to have fun. We also want to kick ass. And we knew we had it was impossible to be negative in any kind of way or think that there's this massive pressure on us. We felt like we were going to war and we had 20,000 people and millions of people at home right there behind us. It's impossible to have any kind of weird feelings with that amount of support behind you. It was just straight up 100% confidence.
Well, I'm sorry. There's a bit of noise here, but I hope you can hear me. I can hear you. So, okay, great. So, listen, no one can say the Acclaimed aren't fighting champions. You've beaten Swerve in Our Glory. You've beaten FTR, Jarrett and Lethal. Who's been your toughest defense, and what's been your favorite defense?
I think honestly, the match that we just had was one of my favorites. It was very tough. They threw everything they could at us, but we overcame. I think the FTR match was something special to Max and I, because we always, set them as like a barometer of what we need to get to in terms of tag team wrestling, because they're one of the best to do it. They're solid in every facet in their game. So we always figured that they would be our ultimate test, and the fact that we were able to pull out a win and show that, we are the better team. Is absolutely fantastic. And also to hear, Dax had some pretty kind words for us on his podcast this past week, and that meant a lot. So we're hoping to, I know they weren't satisfied with what happened because we won. So hopefully that they come back or whatever. And then we were able to run that back again, because I'd love to fight FTR one more time and prove to them that the Acclaimed.
Absolutely. So 2023 has just started. You start the year as tag team champions. What are your plans for the year? Is there a team out there that you're looking that you want to face?
We welcome any team from any organization, Forbidden Door, it does not matter. Come challenge and fight the Forever Champs, fight the Acclaimed. We want to show that we're the best in the world and continue to prove that every single week. We have the support of Billy Gunn and Daddy Ass, who's been key to our strategies every single week to making sure that we're prepared going in to these matches. So I think we have all of our bases covered. We're confident. We've got one of the best tag team wrestlers of all time in our corner. We have people scissoring with us every single week. We are ready for any challengers.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about AEW Dynamite this week. As you said, it is a loaded card. I was hoping to pick your brain a little bit and preview some of the big matches announced.
Sure.
So the finals of the best of 7 series between Death Triangle and the Elite, ladder match for the trios title. What have you thought of the series, and who do you think will win the 7th match?
That whole series has been mind-boggling. What these men have been doing to their bodies and to each other has been absolutely insane. I don't know who to pick. They're both so solid. They're both so talented. We've been in the ring with all of them, actually, except for Kenny. I've never been in the ring with. But I don't know. It's hard. The Elite always figure out a way to pull through. So I feel like the Elite might pull it out.
Wow. Now, whoever doesn't win the trios titles, are you looking at them as possibly coming after your World Tag Team titles?
Who knows? Again, we welcome everybody. If people want to switch back over to the tag team division and challenge us, bring it.
It was also a huge women's match on Dynamite. Jamie Hayter and Dr. Britt Baker against Saraya and Toni Storm. What are your thoughts on that one?
I think Hayter has been on fire, and I'm a big supporter of Jamie. So whatever she does, I'm rooting for her.
And, Sheeta didn't seem too pleased that Saraya passed her over with that whole mystery partner thing.
There is always going to be in those kind of situations. There's always going to be heated arguments. There's going to be people who don't like each other. So you just got to see that play out Wednesday night.
And I think the other big match on the card is Jon Moxley against Hangman Adam Page. Big grudge match. Two of the best in the company. What are your thoughts on that?
That one's been brewing for a while, ever since the Hangman injury, and they've had some pretty sharp words for each other in the last couple of weeks, so it should be very interesting. I've been in the ring with Mox before. He is tough. He hits hard. He will not back down from a fight, so Hangman having to overcome a Jon Moxley challenge is going to be tough, but we'll see if he can pull it out.
And lastly, I got to ask you about what you're watching, what you're listening to. I know The Last of Us show is coming out on HBO next Sunday. You excited for that? Yes,
I'm very excited. Last of Us is my favorite video game franchise of all time, next to Grand Theft Auto. And there's no video game that there's no video game that has hit every single emotion in me throughout the course of the storyline. From I was laughing, I was crying, I was angry, like everything. It's just a perfect video game. And a lot of times when you see on-screen adaptions of these things, it's usually not the best. But I have very high hopes that, especially because they had the Last of Us video game creator as a part of the creative process for the show. I'm very confident that it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see it. Now that I live in Los Angeles and there's all these acting opportunities going around, hopefully one day I can, maybe be a part of that TV show. That's a goal of mine. So I'm very excited to see that. Music wise, I listen to just about everything, but I've been pretty big recently into Bob Moses. I'm not sure if you've heard of Bob, but music is fantastic. And he's been a vibe lately.
Nice. Well, listen, I'm glad you mentioned that you want to do some acting and possibly in that show. Let's put that out there. Let's manifest this.
Let's do it, man.
Let's get you on this show. Listen, Anthony, thank you so much. I really appreciate you and your time. I'll be at the Forum on Wednesday. I can't wait to see the show. I can't wait to see what the Acclaimed is up to.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of scissoring. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to be out there. Thank you for coming and supporting. And if I see you as I walk down that ramp, get those scissor fingers ready.
Thank you so much.